Do you find yourself looking at other women, wondering how on earth they've got it all together? Everything is running smoothly, she's put together, and things seem under control, whilst you feel completely overwhelmed and feel like you're barely keeping your head above water? Well, that's my speciality. I'm a mindset coach and I help women guide themselves out of guilt and overwhelm. And in today's video, I'm sharing the number one thing all of the women that I coach have in common and teaching you how you can avoid this happening to you. And unsurprisingly, that one thing is comparison. We are all so guilty of comparing ourselves to other women, particularly other mothers. And then that leads to feelings of guilt, overwhelm, lack of control. There are a number of reasons why this happens. And you probably won't be surprised to hear that social media has a lot to blame. I think we all know by now that the likes of TikTok are usually a highlight reel. And I think although there's been a movement towards sharing sort of Instagram versus reality and a real push for other people to share their true living, I think even then, there's never going to be a true representation because really, when you're in the midst of it, do you get out of your phone and film it? For the vast majority of us, that is taking place within the confines of yourself, your home. And we very rarely see the struggles that somebody is going through. So when you feel like you're comparing yourself to somebody else, please know that you don't know the true story. I think even your friends and family won't share really exactly what's going on for them. I would encourage you to think about your own life. Do you tell your best friends how it really is? And that's where I think coaching can be helpful because that's that safe space where you can divulge that information. And it's a space to reflect on you and how you can move things forward for yourself. So not only do we have social media fueling this environment that's right for comparison and a feeling of not good enough, it's also fueled by our societal expectations. You've probably all heard the phrase that we are supposed to work like we don't have children and raise children like we don't work. The reality is in today's society, more and more women are going back to work. We are managing things financially, contributing financially, but is still expected for the most part to take a lot of the work at home. And the domestic responsibilities are still falling on women's shoulders. This again can lead to comparison and feeling like we're not in control of things because we're supposed to have the help of a village to raise our children. That's missing. And not only that, we've now got this huge additional weight of expectations and pressures that are put on ourselves. So no wonder that we're feeling like we are struggling because at the moment we've got higher expectations than there ever has been. We all seem to be striving for this unrealistic, perfect mother where we are providing at work, providing at home. And the key to that is it is unrealistic. So if we're comparing to something that is unattainable, of course, we're always going to fall short. And when we're in that dilemma, then our inner monologue can really start to get pretty negative. You might have heard of the inner critic. So that's that little voice in your head. So when you're scrolling through Instagram and you're thinking, why can't I have it like that? How is she so good? You're rubbish. You're never going to amount to anything. When you try out a new hobby, for example, you might be telling yourself, you're crap. You're never going to get better at this. Why are you even bothering? It's that little voice in your head gets more and more negative, and the more that we compare ourselves, the louder the voice can get. Every time that you fall short of this unrealistic image or character that you've built in your mind, your self-worth will take a hit. So it's really important that we start to acknowledge that often that voice is wrong. It's not telling the truth. And we are trying to compare to something that just simply doesn't exist. So once we realize this, what can we actually do to make a difference? And I would say the biggest shift that I found with my clients is being able to cultivate self-compassion. Firstly, we need to stop the self-judgment. So instead of focusing on everything that you might be not doing or that you feel that you're falling short, start thinking about what you are doing well. What are your strengths? What are you good at? What all your friends and family tell you that you're brilliant at? When was the last time you thought about those? Probably a long time ago, but I bet this morning that you were thinking about what you hadn't done or what you still got left to do. So pause, take a moment, think of something that you're really good at or something that you are proud of. This can then create a mindset shift. So instead of feeling guilty for everything that we're not doing, we can start to be more positive about what we are doing and what we are doing well. It takes practice. It can feel a bit alien at the start. But even if you just one thing in the morning, one thing that you're good at, make a big difference, I promise. And connected to that, what are you doing to celebrate those small wins? Do they just get overlooked? Do you pause to congratulate yourself, to feel proud of something that you've achieved? Even if it's getting the kids to school, even if it's cooking a healthy meal, even if it's just getting out of bed. It's important that we celebrate those and focus on what we are doing and instead of what we're not. And then what are some practical ways that we can stop comparing ourselves? Rather than just the mindset shifts, what can we actually physically do? Well, firstly, you're probably not surprised to hear that you should limit your social media use, or at the very least, cultivate your feed so that you're looking at positivity, looking at things that make you feel better about yourself or improve your mood. If there's a particular account that you find yourself always comparing or not feeling good enough, can you unfollow them? Are you creating an environment where you're flourishing instead of feeling like you're not good enough? Another thing that my clients find really helpful is practicing gratitude. Again, it's had a lot of publicity over the last couple of years. It's scientifically backed to improve your happiness. If you start practicing gratitude, so I'm talking about writing down or saying out loud a couple of things that you're grateful for each day, it instantly boosts your mood. You'll start looking out for things to feel more positive and happier about your life. It makes you realize how much you have got to be grateful for. I think when we're in this comparison trap, it's so easy to overlook what we've achieved so far. So I'd encourage you to think about maybe 5 years ago, what were your goals, dreams, what were you striving for? And now think about today. Have you got any of those? For me, I hadn't got my son 5 years ago. So that's a massive shift and something that I wasn't sure that was in my future, but I'm now so glad that it is. I'm grateful about that. I've moved house, I've got a different job. It's amazing how much can shift in that short amount of time. So I would encourage you to practice gratitude, do that 5 year comparison. If you're in that probably small minority that's thinking, well, 5 years ago I was in exactly the same place, what are you doing about that? What can you do to change that direction? Who do you need to be somebody that starts pursuing their goals? Do you have a plan for that? Do you know where to start? That's where something like coaching can be really helpful. I'm also going to be introducing other helpful videos onto my channel, for example, goal setting, creating a vision, pursuing your dreams. So please subscribe to my channel and come back to that because that will be really useful. But if you're not happy with where you are now and the direction of where you're going, do something to make that change and take this as your sign to do that. And then the next thing you can do is have a look at your tribe. Who are you surrounding yourself with, online and in person? Who are your friends? Who are they people that are striving for more, lifting you up, or are they dragging you down? Do you feel better after you've been with your friends, or they make you feel worse? You should be choosing people that you want to be with, that support you, that make you feel a better person, that make you feel better after you've been with them. So I'd encourage you to reflect on, is there one person that's jumping out to you when I'm talking about this thing? Is there a friendship that you're unsure of? Can you begin to make changes to that? Put some boundaries in place, communicate things. Are you surrounding yourself with people that have similar challenges to you? I have personally found it invaluable having friends that are mums who are also working full time and striving to be bigger and better because they understand the challenges that I'm going through. And we've got that common thread that holds us together. So who is your tribe and are they the right people? If they're not, can you look to join local groups, online groups? It's like Peanut can be really good. Who are you following on Instagram? Get into their DMs, have a chat. My DMs are always open if you want to speak. Instead of comparing yourself to others, start surrounding yourself with people that lift you up and make you feel good. So that's a whistle stop tour on one of the biggest things that I see in my clients that's holding them back and making them feel guilty. And that's comparison. Doesn't have to be that way. Once we realize that we're comparing ourselves to unrealistic people on Instagram or holding societal expectations that are probably outdated and need to get in the bin, then we can start to let go of comparison. If we start being more compassionate to ourselves and focus on what matters to us and not what we think we should be thinking or striving for, then that's when the real change will happen. Everyone's journey is different, and that's okay. You'll find your own path and what works well for you. If this resonated with you, please subscribe to my channel. I am building lots of free content that's aimed at helping women try and break free from this cycle of guilt and overwhelm and start pursuing a life that we are proud of. Please come and join me. Subscribe to my Instagram, Flourish with SJ, And if you want to join my community on Facebook, find me there too. If you've got any ideas or other videos that you'd like to see, please let me know. I'm always open to feedback and comments. And I encourage you to take one thing from this video that will help you stop comparing yourself to others and start being a bit more compassionate to yourself. Thanks a lot. See you next time.